Welcome to my review of the Schiit Magni and Modi 3. I will be reviewing them together today as they are part of a set and it seems that most consumers will be likely to use them together. So there's my rationale for that. But before we get any further, I want to ask you to please click the like and subscribe buttons below as it really does help me out as a small channel. Okay, so in this review I will be focusing way more on the experience that they provide as a whole instead of the scientific data analysis that some others provide, as I can't really speak on that matter, and as you'll see later in this review, that's not really what I'm interested in. So now that we got that out of the way, let's get into what each of the units does and why someone would even consider buying an external DAC and amp combo. A DAC is a unit that converts a digital signal such as optical, USB, or coaxial into an analog format such as RCA jacks. These are then used to send the audio stream to the amp, and the amp is used to either raise or lower the volume of the output, which is then either passed through to RCA jacks on the back of the unit or to the 1/4-inch headphone jack on the front of the amp. One of these outputs is then plugged into a pair of headphones, a set of speakers, or something of that nature. So now that we know what they do, I want to get into why someone would choose this stack instead of using whatever is already built into the device originally. Theoretically, the DAC resolves a digital signal output from the device to a more accurate degree than the original output device could. The amp then increases or decreases the signal volume while adding as little electrical noise as possible, and it outputs it to the device. Basically, it makes the audio more crisp and clear with less electrical noise. So that's what it does, and for all this improved audio quality you pay around $200 plus shipping. So when you boil it down to basics, I think the improvement in sound quality should be worth roughly that amount. There are also other very practical benefits, like an amp might be needed to drive high impedance headphones. But in general, the reason these products exist is to provide a better listening experience than could be otherwise had with generic audio hardware. Now on to the part where I know I may lose a lot of people, but I just can't tell the difference between this and the integrated motherboard audio, or my iPhone 12 with a dongle, or my 15-inch MacBook Pro. Like, I really wanted the experience to be better. Like, I was willing to spend $200 of my own dollars on this system, but in a blind test with the volume leveled, no one I tested could tell the difference between these different outputs. I know that there are a lot of people that will disagree with this, and there are classes and videos that teach you to tell the difference. But in my opinion, if you need a class to understand why the product you just bought is worthwhile, then I feel like you would probably be just as well off without it. The whole setup costs around $200, and if the difference is even in the realm of debatable, then it is probably not worth it. Like, that's the cost of a nice pair of headphones, and there are some redeeming qualities to these products, like the construction feels incredibly premium, and the physical volume knob is a really helpful feature for day-to-day usability. Like, the tactile feel on all of the knobs and switches is truly great, and like the click feeling is incredible, but personally to me this feels like lipstick on a pig. If the core of what the product does isn't worth the price, then no matter how well it's made or how great it feels, is kind of irrelevant. I could definitely understand that there are some practical reasons for needing this stack, but in general I feel like the large majority of customers aren't buying this for those reasons. As well, it's not like I have anything against the Schiit guys. They actually seem like really great guys, and after looking through their whole website I think most people would agree. It all seems so good, like you get better audio quality, support a relatively small business, and get some great gear. But as far as I can tell, it's too good to be true. I think most people should steer clear of DACs and amps unless they really are true audio buffs and want to spend the time to figure out why they are having a superior listening experience. As for me, I am keeping my units instead of returning them, as the restocking fees and shipping would be roughly $70 out of pocket for me, and the possible future use of these products is enough to make that not worth it. But as for other people, I would really recommend spending your money on some nicer headphones or something of that nature. Money really can buy a better listening experience, but this is definitely not how to get that. For reference, I did most of my listening with my brand new HD6XXs, which I will have a review of soon, and my Bose QC35s, hooked up physically, both of which I highly recommend. But that's all I have for today, so thank you so much for watching and feel free to support me by liking and subscribing. I'm a small channel, so every subscriber really helps. Thank you again, and feel free to check out some of my other videos if you're interested.